Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Wednesday. We are going to go ahead and get started with our class today. Here again, I want to show you is our weekly planner. Okay, everything you need is here. That was yesterday. We went through that. Today, we are going to continue working with the article that we read yesterday. And today, we're going to be learning about objective summary. So again, here's the article. Here is the instructions for article of the week, which we're not totally delving into right now. If you don't even want to look at that right now, you do not have to. Okay. And then here is your homework. There's a little video to watch, and then you should be reading for 25 minutes. Okay. So really quick, before we get started with our objective summary writing, we're going to talk about today's genre of the day, which is nonfiction. Okay. There's a lot of different kinds of nonfiction, but there are really two main ones, and that's informational materials. Those give information and facts on any topic, such as science, history, animals, etc. And some examples of that would be identification books, reference materials, informational picture books, etc. Textbooks would probably be in there. They would. So all of those just kind of teaching books if you want to learn more about a topic. Then we also have biographies and autobiographies. Those provide a history of the life of an individual with information about the time period in which the person lived. They bring a person to life in a way that is true to reality. Okay, and so some examples of nonfiction, and really this kind in particular, are right here. There's Soul Surfer. That's the story of Bethany Hamilton, who was, I believe, 13 years old when she was surfing and got attacked by a shark and lost her arm. The Who Was Albert Einstein book. There's tons of who was, who is, where was, what was books. Okay, we have over 100 in our classroom library. So this one is just Einstein. I just picked him because I had it on hand. Okay, and then next is The Plot to Kill Hitler, which I'm actually going to be book talking in just a moment. And then Educated by Tara Westover, which is one of the best books I've ever read. It's amazing, and I will book talk that later in the year. So if you want to go ahead and push pause now and take the time that you want to sketch note this, you can go ahead and do that. All right, so back to class. The book talk, like I said, I'm going to do today is The Plot to Kill Hitler. This is a pretty short book. It's less than 150 pages. So if you are still building your reading stamina and want a really good book that's not going to take you 4 years to read, this is a great one. So this book is nonfiction, and it's about this young man named Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And he is a very gentle, kind, loving person. He studies religion, and he's a pacifist, much like Desmond Doss. So this was a good tie-in to the article we just read. He's very much against violence. So he and some of his family members are all really against Hitler. They know what a terrible person he is. They feel like they must do something. So they devise this plot to kill Hitler. Okay, and the story focuses on Dietrich and just the moral conundrum he is in, because he is a pacifist that would never take a human life ever, and does not believe in that for pretty much any cause. Yet here's Hitler, who's killing millions of people. So what does he do? Okay, he is such a noble and good person. His character is amazing as he struggles with this predicament that he finds himself in. So anyway, this book is amazing. I highly recommend it. And again, especially if you're interested in World War II, Nazi Germany, Hitler, all of those things. So again, as always, if you are interested in reading it and would like to check it out from our classroom library, please email me and I will put it up in the office for you. All right. So that is today's book talk. We are now going to move on to what is an objective summary. Okay, so an objective summary is basically just a summary. Okay, so but objective pretty much just means your opinion is not a part of it. It's totally unbiased. There's no opinion. It just says what it says. Okay, so the Definition for an objective summary is a short statement or paragraph, in our case, a paragraph, that tells what something is about, but does not include irrelevant details or your opinion. And irrelevant means non-important. So an objective summary is just your summary, just the main points, no opinion, no extra details, just getting it done. All right, so the third step, actually, there's a few other steps that we're skipping for this one, but after a few more steps, we read and reread our article yesterday. Then normally, if we were in class especially, we would discuss it. Next week, we're going to be doing another one of those, and I am going to try and have us discuss it. But for this one, we're going to go straight to the reflection, and my dogs are wrestling under my desk. No talk. Okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start writing. We're just going to write the first paragraph. We're going to write a multi-paragraph reflection of the article you read. So the first thing we're going to do, the first paragraph, is start your reflection with a brief objective summary of the article. It should be about 4 to 6 sentences. It could be a little bit longer, especially if the article was pretty long. Make sure you introduce, so let me just fix that real quick. Introduce the title and author of the article in your summary. Ideally, that should be in the first sentence. The title should be in italics if you are typing your work and underlined if it is handwritten. Do not include quotes from the text in this paragraph. And later as we go on, we are going to be using a lot of quotes. So that's part of the reason I put that. Right now, you're like, why would I use quotes? So that's totally fine. So what we're going to do now is I am going to write an objective summary. I'm going to show you how to do it. On Friday, you're going to need to turn in this multi-paragraph reflection. Here's the beauty of it. It's going to be formative because you're just practicing, and I'm going to be guiding you through it. So you can just copy mine. If you want to write or even type as I'm doing it, you can do that. But just know Friday, you're going to need to have your own version of this. All right. So I'm going to go down to the next slide. And up here, I've just written objective summary of the real Hacksaw Ridge soldier who saved 75 souls without ever carrying a gun. Okay, so I'm going to, can I write on this? Okay, I'm going to start my objective summary. I'm going to change up my font and stuff a little bit really quick for you so you can see it better. All right, so as always, when we are writing a paragraph, we're going to indent. And this is how I usually start off all my summaries. It's kind of boring, but in the article, the real, and I'm not the fastest typer in the world, so the real Hacksaw Ridge soldier saved 75 souls without ever carrying a gun by Elizabeth Blair. Okay, so now I have written half of my first sentence, okay? So I'm going to go back really quick, and I'm going to italicize the title because that's important to do. So I'm going to put that in italics, okay? I'm also going to, I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so I've written half of my first sentence. And then with the rest of it, I'm going to put into like one sentence what the article is pretty much about. So we learn about soldier Desmond Doss. And again, you should really be, I would be typing this along with me, maybe open up a new tab and just a new doc, or you could handwrite it too and type it later. And his non-combative heroism. Okay, so that basically is the title, the author, and the entire article in one sentence. Okay, and that is what most of your article of the week summary introductions should look like. Okay, And then I'm going to go on and just tell some main points about the article. Okay, so Doss was considered, Doss was considered a conscientious objector. I think that's important. It says it multiple times throughout the article, and it's important because we want to know like why he was the way that he was, what his thing was. So I'm going to go ahead and define that too. Doss was considered a conscientious objector. So someone reading your summary might be like, well, what the heck is that? And that is someone who objects serving in the armed forces or bearing arms. And Doss didn't object to being in the armed forces because he joined, but he just didn't want to have a gun for reasons of conscience. And that means he didn't believe in violence, okay? Because he had vowed not to kill and wouldn't touch a weapon, the other soldiers harassed and abused him. Okay, so now we know that because he wouldn't do that, the other soldiers were really mean to him. They thought he was lazy. I'm going to really quickly put this into double spaced just so it's easier for you guys to read. Maybe I should make it a little bigger too. Okay. So he wouldn't touch a weapon. The other soldiers harassed and abused him. And now we're talking about the main event of it. In the spring of 1945, Doss's company faced a grueling task, which was to climb a steep, jagged cliff, sometimes called Hacksaw Ridge, to fight the Japanese. During the intense fighting, Doss crawled from wounded soldier to wounded soldier, dragging them to the side, to the edge of the ridge. I actually pre-wrote this before I am typing it in for you guys, just so you can, so I didn't take a long time to think and stuff. You will not go this fast when you're doing it on your own, and that's totally okay. Tying a rope around them and lowering them to the medics below. Doss showed his bravery by saving 75 men in 12 hours. All right, so there you have it. I feel like there's a couple details that maybe I didn't need to have. Like I said, steep, jagged cliff. We don't always need to put in those adjectives and things like that, but I felt that it was important. So I believe this ended up to be 7 sentences. Maybe not. Oh no, it's 6. Okay, so like I said before, you're going for 4 to 6 sentences. So this is good. It's a little long, but that's okay. So this is the very first paragraph of when you do the article of the week, what your reflection is going to look like. Your reflection is going to be 3 to 4 paragraphs. So this is the first one. So I've done this first one for you. Tomorrow we're going to go on to the next step. Again, I suggest copying this down because you are going to turn in one that we did together on Friday. Okay, so that is pretty much it for today. Again, you will go on to read for 25 minutes. That is, as always, your homework. And watch that clip on an Everyday Hero. Okay? Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow.